Okay, this is for all the people that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s and leaving their business and jumping into finance, career changers. We welcome you. Happy, come in. I want you to come in. I make money off teaching the licensing stuff. I'm welcome. I'll help you. I have a coalition called Finbro Coalition, which will help you. There's a lot of resources out there to help you, but I need you to know what you're getting into, and I need you to understand going in with eyes wide open. Okay, eyes wide open. You got to be there. Now, there are certain firms, and these are good firms. They're not bad, but you need to know what you're getting into. New York Life, Primerica, Equitable, or AXA, Primerica, they all are eat what you kill. And what that means is you don't earn anything until you bring in a customer and get a commission. So you could go months without a commission. You can go months without a paycheck. So you have to be able to do that, okay? So you absolutely have to be able to handle that and be okay with it. That's a way to do it, but you better be a good salesman. That's better for people who have a book of business already because they think they have a good payout and they give you support, but you're not getting a penny from them until you pull in money. And you're only getting paid on what you bring in. So if you have a bad month, you have a bad month. Now remember, the upside for these places is amazing. You could be $800,000, $1 million a year producer. Absolutely could do that, but the first couple of years are not going to be easy. Then there are other firms like Edward Jones. They train you and they pay you, but we'll get into that. JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman, UBS, RBC, these firms, Vanguard, they pay you, okay? They pay you them, but they're getting it out of you. Some of them make you work while they're paying you. Some pay you to study, okay? Edward Jones pays you to study, but they have a very tight timeline, 19 days per test, which we'll get into the testing stuff. But understand that they're expecting this. Since they're paying you, they're expecting you to pass these exams on the first or second shot. And they're not easy exams. That's sort of where I would come in, but we can get into that later. I have a million videos. I don't want to waste your time with that here. I'm trying to explain here now what we're going through. So these firms are good too because they have support systems. Since they're paying you, they want you to succeed. So they all want you to succeed. But Morgan Stanley, if you get with a team, if you go with Edward Jones, they train you. They have a lot of training. Merrill Lynch, RBC, UBS, if you get on a team, they even have one where you just start on a phone call center answering calls until you get used to working customers and you work your way up. There's a lot of ways to work it. But the whole goal is you kind of want, if you're going to switch careers, you kind of want to be at a place that either is going to pay you, like maybe you work with one advisor who likes you and they're going to pay you for the first year or two. That's great. Or work for a firm where they pay you. Maybe your payout's lower. But remember, if you start bringing in clients, you can negotiate that. You can say, listen, I want lower salary, more commissions. Then you have some leverage. Now, that's the firm. So I think Vanguard and Fidelity won't do that, okay? You're getting a salary. They don't care if you're bringing customers. They're so popular. They don't give a shit. Fidelity literally doesn't want you cold calling. Your job is to handle and Schwab a lot, is to handle the influx of business coming in, okay? So just a little recap before I go on to the other stuff. Places like New York Life, Primerica, Equitable, Northwestern don't pay you, but you get a higher rate of commissions if you get them, but again, could be 6 months. I have one guy, he was a teacher. He was making like $120,000 as a teacher, as a phys ed teacher, good in California. So he wanted a little bit of money. That doesn't cover a lot. So he said, I'm going to quit and go to Primerica. And I said, okay, wait, let's get you the licenses, which he did. And I said, tell them you want to work part-time. Some will. The eat what you kill ones may let you work part-time. Primerica is very good about that. So he actually didn't give up his teaching job and it's been about 2 years. He's almost at the point now where he's bringing in about half of his teacher's salary in commission. So now, he's making almost $200,000 a year between the two jobs. 2 jobs is tough, but he's about a year or two away from actually making enough to be able to quit the other job. So that's what I'm saying, eyes wide open. You want to make sure that you understand what you're getting into. Also, this advice really isn't for the kids coming out of college and they get the analyst program. That's different. Those analyst programs, they're recruited out of college. That's not this. I'm talking you had a career or maybe your mom or dad just hit home with the kids and now you want to get back into it and you're older and this is what's going on. Here's the part they also won't tell you, okay? There are tests to be taken, the SIE and the 7 or the SI and the 6, and then either the state exams, 63, 65, or 66. They're not easy, okay? The SIE is the easiest of them, and you can actually take that before you start, which is always a good idea. But places that are going to pay you to study, which some do, Morgan Stanley, UBS, RBC, Edward Jones, they're going to put you on a timeline, and you don't pass it by then, you're out. So we need you to understand that is a pressure that you have to be ready. And that's why I tell a lot of people to take the exams. that you can take without a sponsor before you even start, before you apply. So if you did the SIE exam or the Series 63 or the Series 65 or the Series 66, you do that before you start. There's less pressure. Because I'm telling you, I deal with kids all the time and adults who they have kids, they're working, they have to work all day, they're doing two different things, and they still got to pass these exams. And there's a timeline. Like again, Edward Jones puts a 19-day timeline on this. Every 19 days you take an exam. So if you can get 2 of them out of the way, that gives you room and maybe you get a second chance. Some places only give you 1 shot. Like some places in Morgan Stanley, you get 1 shot on the 7 and maybe 2 on the 66. But you have a timeline. I have one guy I'm dealing with. He has a 6-month timeline to get all these exams done and work full time, learning a brand new thing. And if you're not a test taker, you want to get as much as you can out of the way. I just want you to go in with your eyes open. I'm not even saying to use my services. I just want to make sure that we're not getting surprised. So we have career changers, moms and dads switch and go, I was a cop or I was this or that, and they're moving over. You got to know what you're getting into. I absolutely welcome you. I love having new people in there. I love when I'm seeing like people that are older coming in. They bring diversity, right? They bring other viewpoints, okay? Older. I had one lady, she was 83 years old. 83 years old, and she's taking these exams. Totally balls to the wall. Nailed it. She nailed it all in the first shot. But again, there's pressure, okay? So, and I tell everyone, don't give me this shit you're tired, because if she can do it in 4 months, you can. So feel free to reach out. We have the finprocoalition.com. We have my YouTube. I do a YouTube live Q&A every Tuesday, Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. I set it up like 3 years ago just for like people had questions. It actually become like a therapy session for me too and other people. Just like, what do I do here? I lost my job. I want to switch over. It's a way to kind of talk to me directly instead of emailing back and forth. But feel free to email me. Emailing, I don't see a lot, but you'll get my cell phone and you can text me there. I'm always, half the stuff I'm doing is always talking about the psychological of this and the pressure. I feel so bad that these moms and dads, they have 2 kids, they have kids pulling on them, which is fine. You have kids, right? You have to deal with them. But it's such a pull on them. It pulls away from the test taking and the working and all that. And they're not used to studying like this. I have so many people come at me after like they're 40, they haven't studied for a thing in 20 years. And now they got 3 months or 90 days or 6 months, hopefully, to take these exams that they don't know. The people who hiring them don't know what's on it. We sort of know what's on it. But again, I teach 100 things that you're only going to get tested on 70 of them. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, and I feel for you. I just want to make sure that when we go into this thing, when you decide, I'm going to leave my one job for this, you know what you're going into. Because I have people move, and then they're on their 3rd try on the exam. Because remember something, these exams, you get 2 shots. And then after the 3rd shot, you have to wait 6 months, which means you're not keeping your job. If you get after the 3rd shot, you're going to get fired. It's just, 90% of the time. No firm is going to pay you for 6 months. Now, granted, the Primerica's and stuff, not a bad idea. You go there, and they're Northwesterns, because they're not paying you. If you don't earn, you got to earn at some point. But then if you take an extra 6 months to take it, doesn't really cost them anything. Anyway, I'm hoping this helps a little bit. I want a little ramble stuff, but I just want you to know that we're going in there knowing what's happening, knowing what you're expected to do. And I'm here to help you. I'm absolutely here to help you between our coalition, the finprocoalition.com, or just coming on my live and ask questions. I do a lot of videos on this stuff. I'm on TikTok all the time, Instagram under Series 7 Whisper, and even on YouTube under Series 7 Whisper, which hopefully you're seeing it here. Let's get on this, okay? Just let's do this, but let's do it right, and let's do it with eyes wide open.